All right, how's it going, everybody? I'm going to start us off here. This is Ricky, your host, and tonight I got my buddy Josh with me. I'm going to bring him on in just a moment here. So let's bring him on. All right, Josh, ready or not? Ready or not, here you are. Welcome to the show.
Hello. You hear me all right?
I do. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, no echoes or anything.
Good. All right, so this is a brand new one for us. We're normally doing the podcast style. Tonight we're doing the video style. Should be live on Facebook, Twitter, and my Facebook group. All right, so how's it going, Josh?
Oh, man, it's going all right. Just dealing with everybody in the house being sick again.
Oh, no. Sorry to hear that. Are you sick too? Are you all right?
I'm a bit congested, but I'm all right.
Whew. All right, so as you see down in that little, whatever you call that thing down there, that banner, this is Josh's 3 Synchronized 3 Universe 3, which he has his own podcast that he does on as well. So what we're going to talk about tonight?
Is it on the board? My banner? Is that my name? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, no, man, just honestly, we were like, you had used the placeholder for the question everything, and I think that Makes a lot of sense. Just like this whole testing thing here. I've been going through a lot of the random. Man, I went down some serious rabbit holes today, but I spent a lot of time on Facebook comments, and man, the world is crazy right now. I cannot believe how crazy it is.
No doubt. No
And
doubt.
the divide. Oh, what the hell happened there?
That's just me showing your for your
I thought it
podcast.
died. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just did the like a different version of the episode we kind of recorded, like the question, whatever it said. My brain's not working now. I can't use my phone to pull it up because my phone is in front of me filming me. All right.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, man, it's been a fascinating ride. I'm trying to do regular podcasts like every week when I can. Usually I record them on my way home from work because usually that's the easiest time I find. Plus, it's a good event. Good event after a long day dealing with the public. Good Lord.
I definitely get that. You know, I do that same job you do, but you're in a much busier airport.
Yeah, man. I actually just got a job offer to do like the logistics spot. That's pretty cool. Dude, I'm definitely gonna take that.
I don't blame you.
That's like a break. Anyway, yeah, one of the things that caught my eye today, and it's like it's on the focus of manipulation and how I think everybody's being manipulated still, is like, you know, the left versus right thing is getting so bad. I feel like we're being pushed to a civil war, and like it's getting scary, man, because the way people are talking online is nuts. Like the divided. I don't think we've ever been more divided than we are now, and it's honestly both sides of the spectrum here are being manipulated and they don't realize it. Like, take for example, you know the story that's going around right now about Nancy Pelosi's husband, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the rabbit hole I spent, you know, like probably 2 hours of my life that I can't get back today going down. And reading the news articles, like, I really don't know how anybody can believe what they're reading. Like, it is the most nonsense story I've ever heard in my life. Like, the man breaks into her house, like, into this person who is like the speaker of the house, like the third most powerful person in the country, just breaks into this house willy-nilly. Like, then, you know, he asked Nancy Pelosi's husband sees this guy, and he apparently asked him if he can go to the bathroom. Oh, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. I know you just broke into my house, but I need to go to the bathroom. Like, that's
cool.
Red flag, my friend. Red flag. Like, right there. That's first step that doesn't make any sense. And then when he's on the phone, he's talking about how, like, this person is a friend, quote unquote, and apparently they just deduced that he was breaking into the house. Like, this is wild, man. Like, the guy knew he was on the phone and he was cool with it in the bathroom. Like, what is going on here? And the other day, I called it. As soon as I read about what happened, I was like, they're going to blame it on a right-wing conspirator. 100%, like, without a doubt. Sure enough, what am I reading today? It's like this guy had posted a bunch of right-wing QAnon stuff, and of course his account is deleted, so the regular people can't verify these claims, right?
Right.
And here we are, yet another example, and like it's sowing such division between people because they're like, you know, all these diehard Republicans are going to kill us all, and then the other side's like, it's crazy to me, and they don't honestly. People don't believe that they're being manipulated. It's not just one side; it's both sides that are playing the game. And, you know, using the middle against each other. Like, I don't want anybody thinking here that I'm a diehard Republican because that is 100% not true. Anybody who knows me knows that. Okay, I do not do political parties. I'm gonna put that out there now. Okay, I'm not a Trumper.
Oh, I got that.
I am a truth guy, but now, and it's funny how anybody who says that now is also labeled as a Trumper. Like, anybody who's out for truth and all that is a Trumper. Like, come on, man. This is wild. Nope, I don't like him either.
Don't blame you. I don't like any of them myself, but yeah, lesser of two evils, I guess, as they say. But you know,
yeah, man. Politics is a big source of all this, a lot of this, you know, chaos going on. And again, since the politics were introduced, you know, I would say, you know, the Greek times come to mind when I think of political, because that's really like or the Greeks and the Romans or whatever you would say, like, 'cause they're basically the same culture. But
Hmm.
like that's where our political system really comes from. And who did they worship? This pantheon of gods that gave them this knowledge. Who are this
Hmm.
pantheon of gods? The same beings we've been talking about, 100%, without a doubt.
Anunnaki.
Um, Indeed, and even I also I read this short story about it's like one of the missing books of Jesus. There's a lady who wrote it. He's like the secret. I think it's the Secret Life of Jesus. It talks about some of his lost years, or Jesus, the lost years. That's the one I'm thinking of. And it talks about how because the Bible's pretty murky after he dies. He just kind of falls off the world, right? Like never
Right.
hear about him anymore. Um, and there's a lot of research that went into that. Apparently, in this one, he went underground because he was aware he was set up.
Hmm.
So that's always been kind of a thing for me. It's like, God so loved the world that he sent his only son to die, right?
In a very viciously cruel and torturous way.
God loved the world. Why did his son need to die to save the world? It's like, I don't know, man. That doesn't really make any sense. It seems like that's a load of hoopla. But again, apparently he had found out he was being set up because, like, throughout the whole process, if you read in the Sumerian tablets, he thought they were going to protect him. He didn't think that that the gods were going to allow him to be killed.
Hmm.
And that's why he's like, Father, why have you forsaken me or whatever? Like, because he thought he was going to be saved, not have
Like
to
a
be
test.
murdered on the cross, right?
Like a test. The other guy who's going to, sacrifice his own kid at the last second, he was told to stop. Maybe he thought the same thing was going to happen.
Right. And apparently, like, he went underground and started, like, he created these, like, one of these secret societies or whatever, and they were fighting against these beings or these gods, quote unquote, in every way that they possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of evidence he went to the east, and apparently that's where he really died, is in the east, like many years later. That's where his tomb is, apparently. Allegedly, as history is messed up regardless of which way you look at it. But
Allegedly, right?
allegedly, everything's allegedly. All this entire story is allegedly.
It's alleged. We don't know for sure.
Anything you read, man, you never know if it's really true.
That's the truth.
You don't even know if you're really standing here right now, sir.
You could be a hologram,
We are.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And oddly enough, this is the first time I've seen you since I've left Seattle. We've only ever just talked, chatted. I think.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, aside from the random photos and stuff, but yeah, I mean,
as far as video,
right.
We
never video chat, sir. We need to video chat more. I don't
Yeah.
video chat with anybody because honestly, it's I don't know. That's something I usually do. I don't like my face.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I like saying it. I like saying it on air. All right.
But apparently, people prefer to see people talking visually than just the audio. So I wanted to try.
Oh yeah, I'm
this
fully.
method
Yeah,
out.
man. Definitely. This is definitely the next step on the process here, sir.
Because I am paranoid, so when I'm not recording, this little cap goes on my webcam. And supposedly they can still watch you even though it's not showing it's on. So I put my cap on.
Yeah, dude, we don't want to get started on that, sir. Of course they can watch you. There's a reason why, like, rich and famous people be like putting tape over their like cameras and stuff like that, dude. Like,
They know.
watch a lot of the Edward Snowden stuff and you'll really see. That's why, like, when I started watching that a long time ago, like all his briefings and stuff, again, if anybody's watching this, look into the Edward Snowden stuff. It'll change your whole mind about everything.
Was that Edward Snowden?
Yeah, Edward Snowden. There's tons and tons of YouTube videos and interviews of him doing, talking about like the extent of the surveillance. Everybody knows there's mass surveillance, but people have no idea the extent of this surveillance and the capabilities.
I believe that.
It goes deep, man. Like the one of the ways like Facebook tracks you that people don't think about is like they track you using your device's sensors. So if you're next to somebody who's also logged into Facebook, they'll show you, hey, you may know this person. And it's like, man, I was just standing next to that dude. And they're like, people don't worry. I'm not worried if they're using my data. Like, but they know exactly where you are and your fact that you're next to this person. That's the same way they can do the COVID tracing crap. It's because they're using your device sensors.
This is the biggest one right here. Your biggest spy is
Yeah,
your
the
cell
phone
phone.
is 100%, man. Like, I went through a pretty paranoid phase a few years back, and I was reading the privacy policy of almost every single app I used, and it's wild. Like, people have definitely no idea what they're agreeing to when they agree to those terms. And most people didn't. I've never met anybody who's sit and read all that.
Oh,
Like,
they scroll to the bottom and hit accept. That's it. I'm just as guilty.
yes, I'm guilty too now because like I've read enough of them to where like, yeah, I'm gonna use this app anyway, even it's bitter. But Google is the most notorious for all that though. Like Google apps. Like I tell people, man, they got these. People are like, oh, they got these cool free apps. There's a reason why they're free and have so many features, sir.
They want you to get them.
Yes, they want to use your data. They don't sell it. They share it for purposes of monetary gain.
Yeah, that is very true.
Um, man, what were you? So you were mentioning, like you posted the thing or sent the picture about your dream about like the heavens and the.
Yeah, basically, Earth, the heavens, and the astral plane, and how they are connected, more or less.
Right.
If I can find that diagram here, actually.
Oh, this is cool too because we can actually pull up stuff, man, and
You can screen share. There's so much you
yeah,
can do with it. The problem is finding stuff on my computer. I've got so many pictures. Actually, I know a faster way. But yeah, basically, what I'm looking, what he's referring to is I had a dream while I was visiting with my mom. Long story short, I came to the realization that I wasn't there and she wasn't here. We were meeting in what I can call the in between or the astral plane. And that's the one place in reality that all realities can kind of come together without crossing into each other's boundaries. It's a deep subject to try to explain it, but I'll show you the little diagram I made of it here, which is this one. So say this is heaven, what they call heaven. I call the ascended dimension. This is Earth. And in the middle of that is the astral planes, or the in between. And if you want to visit somebody in heaven and they want to visit you, you had to meet in the middle, so to speak.
Yeah, there's a lot of different like that's cool that you do that diagram because they did in the there's so many different explanations for like spiritual stuff like it's impossible to get a hey, this is exactly what it is, of course, because nobody really knows until they die.
We don't. Yeah.
But I've seen similar depictions of that in the like some of the what do you call those Gnostic religions. When they was watching all those videos on Gaia a long while back. There's some good rabbit holes to go down there, sir.
I definitely recommend Gaia on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Is it not? Oh, through Amazon Prime?
Well, I see it through there, but I guess there's probably other ways to do it.
You can get it on Amazon Prime? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because they're like a little entertainment hub. I forgot about that.
You have to subscribe to it, but you can watch it through Prime.
Yeah, Gaia, honestly, man, like that website realistically is what put me on this path. Like, when I was on Instagram and I was at one of the lowest points in my entire life, and I saw an ad for them, and it was a video that caught it caught a spark. It was like it was a video called Emotion, which I recommend you watch. It said lose what needs to be lost so you can have the life you deserve. And I was like, okay, man, because I was really dark. I was like, man, I'm gonna go watch this. It talks about how, these are really acclaimed scientists and stuff talking about how emotions are different, way different than we think they are. So we are taught as emotions are just nothing, but realistically they're energy. So when you don't deal with these emotions, they get trapped into your body. And that's exactly what it says in like the Law of One series as well. And in the Sumerian text, they talk about it as well. Like emotions are really our things. Like just like you know, in the mental plane, well, your thought is a real thing. It exists.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you have experienced trauma, it gets locked into your body. And most people know that. Yeah, you know, trauma gets stored. But do you know that it gets stored like a little energy ball, right?
Yes.
And then when
And
these
you
energy
can carry
balls,
it from one lifetime to another too.
exactly. And these little energy balls become other things when they're not dealt with. So like in all honesty, there's a lot of evidence, like for example, anger, like storing anger causes cancer in the body. That's what, you know, there's a lot of evidence that suggests that.
Yep.
And the liver is one of the places that anger is stored, which is why when people drink, they tend to be angry because alcohol goes to the liver. You know, it cycles through the
Mm-hmm.
liver. That was one of my problems when I drank. That's why I quit drinking many, many years ago, because like it brought out all this repressed rage.
I get that. I don't need alcohol for that.
Right, right. Yeah, man. I was like I stored anger like my entire life, man. Like that's what I did because I don't know. That was just how I dealt with it, and it clearly was not the best way,
Right.
as it came out in many different forms. Yeah, if you get a chance, man, sit down and watch that documentary. It's eye opening. Uh,
Okay.
a lot of people said
Definitely.
it's like this. My one friend that I told to watch it said it was like it had Scientology vibes, or quote unquote. And
Mm.
at that point in time, I looked into Scientology and I realized that they just steal a lot of different like stuff from different other religions, like older religions. Like um, they're stealing a lot of the same ideals, is what I'm saying. Just and they created a new religion for themselves.
Yeah.
I'm not out here supporting Scientology, I promise. No, sir.
No, sir.
Um, and then the other, was able to finish my other book finally, that giant book. Um, I'm going to reread The Law of One now, so I'll probably be inspired a lot by that
Mhm.
again, because I'm trying to see the correlations between like the Sumerian tablets and the Law of One series, and see if I can find like where they link up. Because I really do believe that this group interacted with them, but they're taking the credits for the pyramids. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
The idea of who built the pyramids is still super duper murky. I just know that 100% not the Egyptians, but no way.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, like you said, the law of one, it takes you back towards, or what they consider as the very beginning. And it is a really good read. Here, I'll
Yeah,
show you.
it's
For those who are wondering, here's a screenshot or of the website you can get the books at, the law of one, the raw
it's
contacts.
law of one.info is another one. You can get it. You can actually read it all for free on the law of one.info. It's like you don't even have to buy it.
Hmm.
Like they put literally. So this group that does this called LNL Research, which actually stands for Love and Light Research, they put all of their stuff online for free. You go to their website. Like they want this information to be shared to the world, but I mean, you can also purchase it if you want to support them as well. But
Yeah.
it's honestly really fascinating stuff. And again, like the Law of One source says, it's meant to be taken, like on a spiritual sense rather than a philosophical sense rather than a literal sense, right?
Right.
Um, it's just like when you read the Bible, reading it as a literal thing versus a philosophical thing. Oh yeah, it's got dude. I forgot that one has the search function too. So if you're like searching, I've used that quite a bit. It's like a Wikipedia of the Law of One. I have it pulled up on my computer too.
I'm looking at it myself now. Actually, I didn't know this was here. I just been listening to the
Yes.
audiobook.
Yeah, I find that going through this, and then you can go through and it'll tell you the like definitions of a lot of the words too, man. Talks
Hmm.
about, down here you got the category. It says like higher self, meditation. It teaches you like, proper ways of meditating, proper ways of like healing the energy centers of your body. It teaches you all that stuff. Like,
Hmm.
it teaches you what the true meanings of the tarot cards were, because apparently the original tarot came from them. That's what they say.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's I didn't know that as well until I read it. I mean, again, whether it's true or not, it's fascinating. But like, this is, it's I find it hard to believe that these folks like conjured up all this by themselves, but I mean, maybe they did. Who knows? Like
Who knows?
the guy that was asking the questions of this was a theoretical physicist. Like he was not a dumb guy. So the questions he was asking were, quite intellectual, man. And like these answers are so complex. Like you've listened to it, you know what I'm talking about. These like complex. Like you have to like decode this stuff.
I consider myself smart, but I couldn't follow a lot of it either.
Yeah, man, you gotta like really, really listen to it many, many times. Uh, yeah, just like another different source of all this. Like, I want to start reading the Dolores Cannon books as well.
Yeah.
She's got a fascinating take on this as well. Um, I actually brought out like some of the books like that I've been reading over the years that I compare a lot of the stuff I got to, so I could reference it while I'm sitting here.
Mhm.
Like one of the ones that's really fascinating is the Hindu text, the Bhagavad Gita. Like it is one of it's one of the when I talked about the nuclear bombs, like it has one of the best descriptions of like a nuclear weapon being used that I've ever read. And somebody I read a comment online and they were like, it's more like a history book versus just like the Bible. You can use the Bible. There's a lot of real history in the Bible.
Mhm.
Like a lot of the wars and stuff like that that have been fought over time, like they're in there, man. Like, and then you can correspond that data with the Bhagavad Gita and then the Sumerian tablets. Um, Another fascinating one is the Dead Sea Scrolls Bible, which is also really fascinating. It's just a little bit older version of the Bible, I would say. Um, how many different older versions are there? Lots.
It's a great question.
Like lots and lots. There's so many texts to read, man. I got a laundry list of books in my dang cart online that I got to buy. Like, I was gonna buy the Talmud of Emmanuel, but like I started reading the free version, and I don't know, man. It sounds like it may be conjured up by a modern person rather than an actual, scripture of Jesus. But
Mhm.
it seems, I don't know, the wording doesn't seem correct. Like it doesn't seem like it came from the olden times. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong. I might still read it.
It couldn't hurt just to at least get a different interpretation or something.
And then you did watch the Secret Show, right? That was the other thing I wanted to talk about. It's really cool.
Yes, and it was eye opening, definitely.
Anybody who doesn't know about what that is, I think it's on Netflix, right?
I think I watched it
Was it
on
on,
Amazon.
was it on Prime? Yeah, okay, it was on Prime. Yeah, it's called The Secret. It's talking about essentially the law of attraction and like the
But
methodology behind that.
his
What?
website too is the secret.tv.
What?
Here, I'll bring it up. I just happened to search it right here. Here, I'll show you. But yeah, it's definitely really good. And this is the secret.tv. And yeah, you can see, you can read, watch it. It's for all free, it looks like.
Yeah, like that's that's part of the subconscious mind stuff. Like you looked into the work of Sigmund Freud and all them from way back when, like they were doing a lot of there's a lot of science behind the subconscious mind, and like I did an episode on my podcast called the placebo effect, and that's one of the things that always fascinated me because like the answer is right in front of you. Like our bodies can quite literally create effects if we think so. We think we're being given a pill that is something else, and our bodies can quite literally create the effects of this pill just because we think that it's what it is. And like the fact that people are not like amazed by that is surprising to me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever really thought about that? Like, your body can quite literally create effects just by thinking that it is what it is.
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Like you can hypnotize somebody and tell them that they're drunk, and they'll literally be inebriated. Like
There's incredible things people can be hypnotized to believe that defy logic. You can make somebody think they're invisible. I mean, it's just mind blowing.
Right. And like the underlying thing of all that is the subconscious mind, and that's the thing that they don't want you to know about. They being the ones controlling the game, they want you to be a mindless zombie running around, and they want to control you through your subconscious mind. And like that's the one of the books that I read that really changed everything for me, and that's like the same on the same lines as The Secret is the power of your subconscious mind. So what it teaches you is the power of like self hypnotism. So there's a way you can use the law of attraction and jumpstart it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you essentially go, you put yourself into a like pre-hypnotic state where you're sitting, getting relaxed and basically meditating, and you're doing these mantras, like you're repeating something, and what you're doing is you're speaking directly to your subconscious mind. You have to turn off your other mind, which is the one that's analyzing everything going on right now, the one that's talking to Ricky right now. You turn that guy off, which is hard for people like me.
Me too. Trust me.
It really is. It's hard for the ADD brain to shut down. And you
Mm.
talk to it. Um, like you can. I mean, I've done it. Like I've done tests where like I'll like, hey, tomorrow I'm gonna encounter this person and they're gonna talk to me about this, and it's worked like that. Like, but in order to do like bigger things, you have to. It's gonna take you a lot longer to do it. Like it's not gonna come overnight. That's like the idea of prayer. So the real thing behind prayer is impressing your subconscious mind with this thought or idea that you want to create into this world. And that's why they say pray as though you already have what you're praying for. Like
Yeah.
you're giving thanks for that you already have it, not begging for somebody to give it to you because the person you're begging to is not there.
Right.
I'm not saying that God doesn't exist. I'm just saying that you're begging for something, and then the universe is going to be like, hey, by saying, by begging for this, you're saying that you don't have it. So you're
Mm-hmm.
going to create nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the simple answer to all that. Is you got to pray as though you already have this item.
And that's what most people
Um,
do wrong too. They don't. They pray because they are asking for something they don't have. Instead of putting it out there that they don't have it, so they don't have it, and they're not going to get it. So, like you're saying, they got to believe they already have it so they can manifest it.
right. And they in the and like the book, the part of the book that I just finished, like they talk about this stuff heavily. Like they're talking about the things that they want to teach humans versus the things that they don't. Like they taught a lot of the early humans everything, but not but the ability to revive the dead. Apparently, they had the ability to revive the dead. And if
Mm-hmm.
you look into a lot of the Egyptian hieroglyphs in the under parts of the pyramids, like it appears they were doing just that, transferring consciousness into other bodies and all sorts of stuff. Um, but like they don't want humans to know this. Like if everybody knew this, the game is over. They can't control us.
Yeah,
um, and what do they mean? How do they do that? Right? It's again through the other things that we've been talking about over the past couple weeks, religion, stuff like that, stuff that keeps you enclosed and afraid to question outside of it.
so basically, they can do what I would call an artificial incarnation.
Oh yeah, dude. There's no doubt in my mind that that can be done. Like they talk about it quite extensively in the Sumerian text, like the ability to transfer consciousnesses into different bodies. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that we have this ability already. It's just not shared with us.
They do it in the movie Avatar. They literally do that in the movie.
Right. And there was some speculation in some of these videos I was watching a while back that talk about that maybe that was the idea behind mummification. Because mummification, that don't make no damn sense. Like why they chose to preserve these bodies in that way and do it the way they did it is historians don't really know. Like, but maybe they were using them to revive them later or something. Who knows? Or doing what they were doing to revive them later. Who knows? But
Who knows? Actually,
like
I
that
might
guy,
be able to bring up a clip on YouTube of that part of the movie. Keep on talking while I take a look here real quick.
are we allowed to do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
YouTube is up. It's up because I'm streaming it through YouTube and then actually downloading it.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, I think one of the shows on Guy called Hollywood Dakota talked about that, and there's like the reason that they show us that is it's because they're giving you bits and pieces of the truth, their actual truth in regular format.
Mm-hmm.
Um, through movies. When is the new Avatar coming out? Because I'm straight gonna go see that thing.
I think next year, is it? Because I'm definitely going to see it too. That movie was life changing.
Absolutely, man. 100%. 100%. I didn't realize it when I watched it, like, you know, until I watched it after I started down the spiritual path, like how much is in that, like how it really signifies the, you know, the battle between, you know, living in harmony with the earth to like, you know, people trying to destroy it for profit and money, and like how do we find a balance between that? Man. All while being blue.
Blue's an awesome color. All right, so I can't find a clip of Jake being transferred, but here's a clip of him trying to save Grace. It doesn't work, but they at least attempted. And I don't know if there's going to be sound or not, but we'll experiment and see what happens. Let me know if you can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
That's some sort of a ritual.
Oh, that's right. That's what they were trying to say. Right?
No, I see.
Grace. I'm watching this movie tonight. It's a must now.
I got it on Blu-ray.
Grace. 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 What's happening?
That's an intriguing idea, man. Like, what happens if you die? Like, if you were on another planet? Like, would the death process be the same? Would you experience like a different, like, version of heaven because like you were on a different planet? Like, I don't know.
That's one theory I've wondered about, like the astral plane. Is that multiversal, or is it just between certain realities? My thought is it's a multiversal medium.
Right.
So like in that scene of the movie we just watched, Grace would have to go through the medium, which is that connection to the back of her neck, to get to the other bodies. You can't just, you know, float up and out and into it. She has to transfer through a medium, which could be, you know, the astral plane, for example. But it's a concept I think of.
I don't know what my kids are doing in there, man. I hear them being obnoxious. Little one's about to break out of his cage with the other kid watching him. It's all good. You're right. If he comes out, he comes out.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that, you know, this is definitely a good icebreaker because I was not sure if the phone was going to work doing this. I was not sure if any of this was going to work. But like,
that's
there's
great.
Definitely a lot more potential on here because I didn't know we could pull up stuff. And I want to figure out how I can do it from my computer so I can like pull up stuff that I can show people like what I'm looking at.
That's a lot more potential this way,
dude. Heck yeah.
Than the other way, which is our voices. You know, they can see us. We can interact better, like we're actually talking more realistically. Share screens and show pictures and imagery. Play videos. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, honestly, man, I think that like I've been recommending it again to all the different people, like the Slave Species to the Gods book. Like, I promise you, you will not regret reading this book. Like, it starts out really slow because it's explaining the history of genetics and all that. But like, dude, it's mind blowing. It's eye opening. Like, and reading it again after I've like gone through like all the different stuff I've gone through and all the different texts, like I see stuff I didn't see before. Like, it's so very fascinating, this subject.
Yeah.
And then I started reading the other part of the Edgar Casey catalog, There's a ton of that too, dude. Holy crap. Tons and tons of stuff. Like he's similar to the like the Law of One source, apparently.
There's lots we could talk about. The Sleeping Prophet, yeah, it's really good stuff.
And I don't think people really know much about that dude, man. But like the
Probably
stuff he
not.
did is impossible. It's quite literally impossible, but he did it, you know, like countless numbers of times, and it's just recorded. Like, how do you explain that? How do you explain somebody with no medical training diagnosing and curing people when he's not even from thousands of miles away, even like from his
Mhm.
house? He wouldn't even have to go see him.
You can
Like,
see
he would tell
inside your
them,
body. Yeah.
right. And that's part of the reason why they say that, like the modern medical system, like we know very little really about how our bodies truly work. And
Yeah.
you know, when you start to really get into the modern medical system, they are treating symptoms. They're not treating the actual diseases at all.
That's all they're doing. Yeah.
That's what they're doing, and it's a giant money machine. And like, I honestly laugh at anyone who trusts these companies because like they're quite obviously evil. Like, I'll give you an example about Pfizer. Did you know that Pfizer had the biggest fine in history paid because they got caught lying and saying a drug was effective and it wasn't?
And they're the ones I
Pretty
went through to get
fascinating.
mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately.
There's the ones I got my crap too. I'm not going to mention that on here because that will get us shut down. But we know what we're talking about.
Right.
And
just in case people are wondering, this is Edgar Casey. This is a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, definitely. That's another eye-opening one, man, to talk about. And again, there's so much actual science behind the idea of astral projection and the, you know, psychics and all that stuff. Like, it's again, the internet is there. Anybody can get on and verify this kind of stuff. You can get on and look for it for yourself. You don't have to take anybody's word for it. But as soon as you talk, you know, to a regular person about this, oh, that's pseudoscience and nonsense. So, I mean, what does pseudoscience mean? I mean, fake science? Like, science is science. Unless, you know, you're coming up with false results because your stuff was false completely, then it's real science. Like, do we accept science only when it comes from, you know, mainstream sources, or, you know?
Well, of course, they're scientists. They're smart. We got to accept what they give us, you know.
And another thing of note, like almost every, you know, forward-thinking person in history has been thought of as a crackpot and, you know, running around with pseudoscience. Think about that for a second.
Galileo, you know, Copernicus.
Right. And some people were executed for their ideas, man. Like, executed back in the day. The church would execute people for saying stuff that we're saying, man. We couldn't do it. We'd be hanged or burned.
Look at Nostradamus. He had to write his book in code so they wouldn't find out what he was talking about and kill him.
Right. Nostradamus is another fascinating stuff. There's a lot of his stuff that's come to pass, man.
Yeah.
Another thing I just read the other day was about that. Did you see the planet-killing asteroid that they found apparently behind the sun or something like that? Planet-killing asteroid. That's what it called. You know, I find it fascinating when they say stuff like that. But
just glimpses of it. I didn't dive too deep into it, but I saw a little bit of that.
I tend to not look in it when they use words like that because I'm like, yeah, this is fear-mongering. Clickbait.
If there was an asteroid coming towards us right now that they actually saw it and knew it was going to hit us, they would not tell us.
100%. Yeah, they would not. And somebody was I was talking about that at work, and somebody was like, "Oh, why wouldn't they?" Like, come on, man, you can't be that naive. Like, it would cause mass panic, man.
Yeah, the fear, the looting, the riots that would break out. I mean,
yes,
I can't even. I don't even want to think about what would happen.
Nope. That's one thing about the world, man. I think we're at a good tipping point here, and like, it's important to start coming out and really like spreading the idea of just questioning everything. Like, don't believe anything that I'm saying. By all means, again, look into all these different sources, make your own conclusions based on facts other than what you're being told on a daily basis. Because, like, again, we're talking about people that definitely do not have our best interests at heart and have proven it repeatedly.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. Like, we are slaves and we are cogs in a wheel. That's what we are in this world. Whether you think so or not.
Of freedom. The illusion of freedom.
That's the you know, that word is thrown around a lot. And like, what really is freedom? Like
Not this.
like something that that they've proven. Again, you'll use the freaking the thing that we've dealt with the last couple of years as a thing is that the powers that be, can choose whether or not you're able to leave your house.
Mm-hmm.
They can choose whether or not your store can be open. So how are you free if somebody can ultimately choose that you cannot be, live your life as the way you want? That is not
You can't.
freedom. That is you have a, what is the word called? You have a privilege or whatever. Like, and your privileges can be revoked, just like your driving is a privilege. Your citizenship essentially is a privilege. They can do with
Existing.
you what they will.
Existing is a privilege. We're just numbers. We're assigned a number at birth, and that's who we are to them.
Yeah, but like man, I went down this weird rabbit hole a little while ago about that too, about your social security number and how like you're essentially a monetary value. Your whole existence is is your money, your actual currency to these world banks. And that was man, that brings me to the Federal Reserve idea. Like, I was arguing with somebody at work about that the other day. They're like, the Federal Reserve is a federal organization. It is not at all a federal organization. And if you think that, you have not done the research. Like,
Right. It's a
for
private
example,
business.
I went to apply for the Federal Reserve just because I wanted to see. I went to apply to be like their police officer there, right? And which is mildly ironic. There's no way I could ever work there because there would be a conflict of my brain. But like, lo and behold, they're not a federal organization. It's not a government job.
It's private.
Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a private banking conglomerate. 100% has been since was it the Civil War? I believe it is.
So is the IRS.
And the what was it? The Federal Reserve Bank is on, like, they're out of the country on one of the main banks. It was whatever got hit with that. Is it Puerto Rico that they have one of the main banks that ironically got hit with the hurricane?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, I'm going down a weird one with that one. I'll come back to that later. But that's one of the subjects that people are like, nah, but no, it's 100% true. Like, there's a lot more going on, and how you get the answers, which is in the conspiracy community, you follow the money. The money gives you the answer, because that doesn't lie. There's way more going on in the world than meets the eye. And again, people will probably look at this and be like, just a conspiracy theorist, bust your hat out, blah, 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 blah. But I want to remind you, one of the biggest conspiracies of all time was the UFO phenomenon, the UFO cover-up. And again, they have admitted that UFOs are real after lying about it for...
The Pentagon released video of it. Nobody seems to care, but they put video of it out.
Why do people not care, man? I can't fathom it, man. But
that's to blow everybody's mind. Like, oh, shit, this is real. They're telling us that's a UFO on video that they took. But it's all these distractions.
I definitely downloaded so that when that doc dump came out for the CIA, dude, I downloaded that entire thing and I've spent countless time going through it. Again, there's a lot still redacted. So they gave it to you, but they didn't. There's still a lot of redacted stuff, and like you'll have one word out of a whole paragraph, and it's like, okay, that narrows it down. You know what I mean? Like, they still got stuff to hide in there, but they're definitely giving us. They're giving us little trickles.
They're being smart about it. They said it's a UFO, but they never once mentioned the word alien or extraterrestrial.
Why? I wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because they're not trying to admit that we possess this technology, is what it really is. There's, I'm willing to bet that quite a bit of the findings or the sightings we have are our own craft.
Probably.
That's what a lot of people in these communities say. Like, we have this technology already. The Germans have this technology.
So do the Nazis.
Right, that's what I meant.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing. It's all reverse engineered.
The old Nazis. The Germans were Nazis. The Nazi party, right? Back in the 40s. Not now.
Right.
Not now, gosh.
Hopefully not now. But hopefully not. But
I mean,
who knows?
Hell, that party honestly could still exist, man. Like,
I mean, there's still Nazis out there, but
we certainly took all of their scientists into this country after World War II. So
they helped us create the nukes, the atom bomb. Yeah.
And they apparently we took them into different parts of the government too. So whatever you want to believe, I mean, Again, another conspiracy theory that's proven to be true is about the fact that Hitler didn't kill himself. That's another good one. Even though they told us for years that he did. Woo!
Well, even Hollywood's dropping hints. Like, look at the movie Captain America. He was one of the biggest scientists in that movie that helps him with the super soldier serum. He's a German.
Right. Like, and apparently they, again, according to the, I don't know, these different conspiracy videos that I've watched on it say that, like, the Germans were being fed information by a negative source. Just like, they had psychics working with them as well. They were getting information from a higher source, and not a lot. There's good sources and bad sources.
Yeah.
And apparently they were being fed information, and that's how they were able to make the bomb. Whether or not you believe it's true or not, I don't know. It's fascinating to think about.
Definitely.
And the nuclear idea scares me a lot, man, because like that's the end of the Sumerian tablets and the end of like their existence here on Earth before they left. It's because when they wiped out like Sodom and Gomorrah and various other cities, like apparently they overdid it and caused like a nuclear cloud that damn near killed all of them. So they decided to leave, and that's and bam, I guess I don't know if they've come back, but like chances are they have visited or are checking on us, or even still exist here,
or never left. Yeah,
or never left at all. There's a lot of different theories on that, but like without a doubt, you can't look through history and look through the depictions and all these ancient sites that they keep finding and not realize that somebody had a hand in helping us. Whether it be them, whether it be these other extraterrestrial groups, it was definitely, we didn't just come up with this knowledge on our own. Like,
no.
There's no way to explain the sudden emerge of civilization, the sudden knowledge for farming, the sudden knowledge of building these crazy structures. Like, how do you go from primitive to building pyramids that we can't replicate? Like, it's not possible, and it's laughable to say that it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yes, we're gonna make pronouncements based on what we know and teach it to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, that's the world we live in currently.
As far as we know, at least, who knows what exists beyond the society that we haven't told is out there.
Yeah, again, any of this could just be fodder for nothing. The Earth really could be 5,000 years old for all we know. I mean, honestly, this current cycle of humanity could be that old. Like, again, there's evidence that history goes in cycles, and like this could be, at the end of the cycle, we're all wiped out and we start again. You can say it that way too, and that's why we keep finding older and older ruins.
Well, that's the reason why you can only perceive eternity or infinity as a closed loop. That's the only way. It resets or recycles at some point.
Right.
It doesn't go on forever. It has to eventually come back around. So if the world is, who knows?
It's impossible to know, but it's definitely fun to ponder, man. It's definitely something to think. Like, I just can't think on normal lines anymore. It just doesn't work for me, man. It doesn't give me the high I crave.
Normal's too boring anyway for me.
Yeah, man, normal. What the hell is normal, man? There's people like, I feel like there's honest to God, man, the whole idea of the virtual reality kind of trips me out sometimes, and that's why I don't use VR stuff. Because honestly, man, we could very well be living in a VR, and honestly, I think a lot of people are really NPCs, dude. Like sometimes you talk to somebody, and it's like this motherfucker is not even real.
I believe that. I definitely believe that, and I've seen proof. I've seen proof. Like at work, where you're working at, you can't tell, but like I work at a smaller airport, so we're not as busy. I can be standing there; it can be completely empty in the checkpoint. I look around the back, and there's somebody standing there. Where did they come from? It's impossible, but it happens all the time.
They just pop
appear.
Up, man. And then you're talking to some people, and it's like, man, you just like I really do think quite a few people are just like, I don't know, I don't like to use the word sheep, but like there's a lot of people, man, that are just I don't know if they really exist. Like maybe they exist, but like I don't know how to explain it. Like I call them NPCs. That's my new word, man. Because
that's what I use that word all the time. People will tell you I use that word all the time. People even say I'm an NPC because I repeat the same stuff over and over again. But
maybe that's insensitive to say, but whatever.
I don't say it's a bad thing. I'm just saying they're not real.
I mean,
What is
I
an
don't know.
NPC? A non-playable character.
Like, I don't know. The whole idea of the virtual reality thing again. It always trips me out because, like, again, the times that I've ingested large amounts of things, like, I've been shown that could easily be the case.
Got my
Like,
headset right here.
no, sir, don't do it. It's
Here,
a
put it
trap.
on. Put it on. I haven't even used this thing in months.
Oh, dude, that was the main thing I want to talk about the whole time at the end of the last episode. So there's a big thing going around right now between human evolution. So we're at a tipping point. So apparently in the conspiracy community, they're talking about like there's a battle between choosing a digital evolution or a spiritual evolution, and we're obviously seeing that choice with the advancements of VR and the metaverse. Like you're going to have the option. You ever seen that show Upload?
Sounds
Seen
familiar.
this, there's a show on Prime Video called Upload, and it's the idea that you can upload your consciousness into a digital afterlife that you create, that you choose.
They're already working on that. That's an actual thing they are working on.
100%. But like, yeah, the ability to upload your consciousness essentially into the computer. Like they're literally working on this stuff as we speak.
But that's what they're saying. Is it a copy of your consciousness or is it actually your consciousness? We don't know. Can you actually upload your soul? Or is it a digital copy? But it's not really you. That's another big thing that think about. Like I don't think you can replicate a conscious. I don't think you can make it. I think it's a copy that they can do.
Yeah, but like it's a copy. Like maybe that would be the idea of like a clone, because the clone has just about everything that a person would have. But like, how can they? I mean, is it the soul, or is the soul and consciousness different? Like, I don't know.
Well, people forget your body and your soul aren't the same person. You can clone this body, but it's not me. It's the clone of the body, not me. Because I'm not this body, and this body is not me.
Right.
I'm just using it as a tool, as a vehicle. But once it dies, I'm gonna go wherever.
That's a good point. So yeah, you could obviously replicate this because it's already literally replicated here. Like if we're a projection, essentially, or whatever.
It's a blueprint.
Depending on how you look at it.
For example, you take a brand new car, got an assembly line. It's the same car, but yet it's not. It's a copy from a design.
That's true. I mean, and this is dealing with levels of science, obviously, that it's hard to comprehend because it's something most people never think about. This is not something regular people talk about. So, like, if it sounds far-fetched, like, you need to, again, look into the evolution of the metaverse, look into, like, watch that show Upload, and you start to see that, like, this is the path we're really going on. They're already working on tech to connect your brain to computers, which would help a lot of people who, like, people who are blind, people who are, paraplegic, stuff like that. That'd be amazing, right?
Yeah.
But what VR. I see this as is that VR is going to make it to where we're living in a little cubicle and stuck, VR on our face, and we'll never leave. But that's my idea of it.
What's that movie with I think it's Bruce Willis, The Syndicate or something? What do y'all use virtual bodies? It's not really them, and they control them remotely. To the point where his gets destroyed, so he has to actually go out, and he has anxiety and PST because he's not actually used to being out in public anymore. It's their virtual bodies.
That definitely sounds. I'm gonna look that up right now.
Me too, actually. Because I believe it's
that would be another example, especially Hollywood movies, big Hollywood actors like that. They're giving you again bits and pieces of the truth.
Surrogates. Here, I'm going to play the trailer for this so you can see it. But I've seen it. It's basically what we're talking about. Hang on, and I'll play it. Let's see. Trailer.
Imagine a world where you can be anyone. Go anywhere.
Is this old or new? It's definitely new.
It's an older movie.
Is it?
Robotic human surrogates combine the durability of a machine with the grace and beauty of the human body. With most people living their lives through their surrogate selves, our world has become a
Mm-hmm.
place. Take a seat in your spin chair, and just with the power of your mind, you can control your surrogate and send it out into the real world.
Oh yeah, sir.
You can
I'm
find
definitely watching that one. Surrogate.
And now it's buffering, so they don't want us
live
to
the
watch it.
life
Oh, there
you've
it
always
goes.
dreamt of, without any risk or danger to yourself.
We are confronted with an unprecedented situation. 2 people have died while connected to their surrogates. I think we may actually have a homicide here. First one in years. The public cannot be allowed to get the idea that using a surrogate can be fatal.
My internet's not working so great right now.
But
you get the idea. You get the idea, though.
It's like a slightly different version of like the Matrix, man. Like the you were
Kinda.
I mean, kind of.
Although you're physically in the same universe, not a digital, using a artificial body, but you're still there. It's more like Avatar, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I just realized that that's what we're about to go into is literally the Matrix. That's that's it, man. That's what this whole metaverse. Honest to God, man, that's it.
I guess
That's the true answer right there.
what I get from
My
it.
God.
Like, remember what I was telling you earlier, that my theory on the reason we reincarnate is so we can get the reward of building a new body in the other world. Because he wants to stay in the same body for eternity. So, in order to create a new body, you have to leave it, incarnate, and then your new body's getting built. I think those kind of movies are kind of like a mockery of it, because they're creating their own version of what their body should be, and they remotely control it. They live through it. Kind of basically what incarnation is.
100%, man. I mean, if you read any of the Gnostic texts, like the Law of One goes into that quite heavily about like essentially you choose your incarnation. You choose like that's where the idea of like the plan comes from is like you essentially choose a set of experiences, not your entire existence, a set of experiences that'll happen to you. So like there is events in your life.
Some key points, some key moments. Yeah.
Right. And ultimately when you experience these events, your free will is like your choice that you make evolves you on the game path or devolves you on the game path. And your goal is you're trying to, get, undo the karma from all your existence. You're trying to evolve up to a certain point until you get out of this density altogether. To me, that's a pretty fascinating explanation. And again, like, there's a lot of corroboration on that from other spiritual texts. It's definitely to me a lot more. It makes more sense than the idea we live one life and that's it, and we're going to a mansion in heaven. Come on, man. But
I mean, who's going to be limited to a mansion anyway? What if the mansion is another word for body? We're creating new mansions or new bodies.
I mean, yeah, essentially, yes. You could. That could actually be the case as well because
we're basically living inside these bodies now. But
yeah, apparently, like our afterlife bodies, like these, they call them in the fourth dimension body or whatever, supposed to be perfect. Like it's our. I don't know what is perfect, I guess, but
never gets hurt, never gets sick, doesn't age.
It's essentially described like the way Jesus was, like where he was able to levitate, all that kind of stuff. Like apparently those are things you'd be able to do.
But even his body wasn't perfect. He aged. He was able to get crucified and stabbed and die.
This is also true. He was definitely human. Otherwise, he wouldn't have died.
Or what's that movie with Keanu Reeves where he plays the alien, The Day the Earth Stood Still?
Oh yeah,
that version. And they ask him, "Are you human?" And he says, "My body is," referring to his body being human, but he's not. Like for Jesus's case, his body was human, but he's not.
Right.
And I just found that line very fascinating.
I think a lot of us really aren't human, but I think we're human. I really do believe that there is a mixture, just like the idea we talked about a while. That's too much of a subject for this because we don't have much time, but like the idea of the wanderers and like how you can be a soul that's not really from this planet. I don't think I am.
I'm not. I know I'm not.
And that could be the reason why like we think so much differently than other people and like have an understanding, I guess. But Anyway, man, this we're only gonna go 30 minutes, sir, and clearly we've gone over an hour now. Look at that! Look at that!
That icebreaker worked out. You got comfortable, and it was all fun.
Yep. Anybody who knows me knows I'm heavily anxietied out all the time. So
Me too. Trust me. But I'm kind of getting used to it. And the way I see it, even right now, we have 0 watchers. It's just me and you talking. There's nobody else watching, so that helps. It's kind of disappointing at the same time, but
it's all good, man. You got to start somewhere, and
they can watch it later. It'll be on a YouTube channel.
This will give, a lot of the streamers I watch, man. Like a lot of times they don't have so many people watching them live, but like they do clips of their, like a lot of gaming videos too. They do clips of the different shows, and then like you'll do a clip from the show, and then it'll link them to that show, right?
Yeah.
But this is going to be, the video is obviously the route to go because people want to watch videos.
It went a lot more smoother than I thought it would too. I like it. We should keep doing this way.
I agree. I'm glad that it worked with my phone. Like, I still do need to buy the computer, but man, it's
hey, it works for me.
That's a really hard sell, sir. That's like $1,500 is a lot.
I mean, the picture quality is good. You look good there. I mean, the audio with your earbuds, it sounds good. It looks good. I mean,
it sounds crystal clear to me on these headphones too, man. Like I'm using the noise canceling, so I can't hear nothing in the background.
I'm wearing these big old bulky things, but
I have. I mean, I guess I could use some of those, but I don't have the adapter to hook it to my phone. So.
Oh yeah, I'm using my PC right now, so it's easier for me. But I do have a Bluetooth adapter, so I can hook my earbuds to them too. I might try that next time. So these nice. I might try that next time.
Pyramids out here. Maybe guard the connection here, sir. That's what I've been doing.
Got my necklace here, my obsidian.
I was using the pyramids and burning incense, man. It helps. Honestly, dude, it does help. Like I feel like I don't know.
It does help. Yeah.
Like I love burning incense. Like I looked into all the different ways of cleansing the house, and like it helps so much, man. There's so much negative energy trapped in the house for sure. But anyway, probably should call it good because I can now hear the kids in there freaking out. But
yeah. All right.
He's like, you said 30 minutes. You said 30 minutes.
I'm going to put you on the solo here so all they see is you. Go ahead and give a quick shout out to your page and do some advertising for yourself.
Yes, sir. Check out the Synchronized Universe podcast on Anchor. That's 3 in the front, 3 in the middle, 3 at the end. Synchronized Universe. I'm not going to spell it because I will most certainly mess it up. But yeah, it's on Anchor and Spotify. I've been doing it every week, or just about every week. Sometimes I slack. It is what it is. But that's about it. I appreciate you listening or watching, I guess.
Well, it's been a great show. This is one of my favorite ones so far. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to doing it again next Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
So we'll go ahead and start wrapping up here. It's been well over an hour.
Intro, by the way.
Thanks. It wasn't hard to make. It took like a few minutes.
That looked really good.
Appreciate that. I like it as well. I'm going to hopefully stick with the new brand here of, Chronicles of Mysterious Universe, which is more broad than just Paranormal Truth Seekers.
Yeah, that's what we should definitely roll with it, man. Like it's it's a broad thing, and like we could talk about all the subject, and like that's what a lot of people need to know is like this subject is broad. It's not just ghosts. Like there's so much to this subject.
And that's the thing. People see the word paranormal and think it's just ghosts or hauntings, but there's so much more out there to it than that. Extraterrestrials, astral projection, missing time, cryptids. It goes on and on. But
it scares people, man.
It does. It does. I love it. It fascinates me.
Me too.
Hey, well, I know you got to get going. It's been an hour for you here, so we'll wrap up shop here. And we'll catch you on the next show. Thanks again for being on. It's been a great show.
Heck yeah, sir. Till the next time.
All right. Catch you later.
Yeah, I don't know how to get out of here, so.
I'll send you out. All right, later. All right. So that was my buddy Josh. And we were talking about the pretty vast, broad subject tonight, which was pretty fun. I hope you enjoyed our new format here using the actual cameras so you can see us. And not just hear our voices. So now you got a face to the voice. So yeah, it went great. Me and Josh both liked it. We're going to stick with this format. Stay tuned next Tuesday, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Me being in Georgia, Josh being up in Washington State. All right, so if you enjoyed the video, if you watched it on YouTube, go ahead and give it a like if you liked it. Leave some comments. Let us know what you thought. If you haven't already and you want to help support this new channel, please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. So as new videos come out, YouTube will let you know. It also helps to like the videos because then it helps the YouTube algorithm to push the videos out so other people can find me when they do their searches on YouTube. Anyways, I don't want to ramble on too long. And this is Ricky with the Chronicles of a Mysterious Universe, signing out. Until next time.